The terrifyingly large Dharma body opened its mouth and roared, making the square-faced man. It was very obvious that the corpse in front of him had far surpassed. The square-faced man watched the scene before him dumbfounded and terrified. But he did not forget. Yu Shangrong immediately retreated, frowning. But then again, it was ultimately because Yu Shangrong had been careless. The corpse had now stood up straight, its eyes wide open, its mouth agape, revealing its sharp pay with your life. This is the second chance. As the words fell, the black Dharma body. Never before had anyone seen someone fight like this, using a rope to tie another person to fight together. The Zhang Yuanshan suddenly let out a few sounds. He stomped his foot on the ground, and his body shot up like an arrow leaving a bow. Along with the Dharma body and the corpse on the rope, he attacked Yu Shangrong. Yu Shangrong flew high into the air, dodging while simultaneously radiating sword energy. But the evil aura. Seeing this scene, the disciples of the Nether sect, standing far away, called out anxiously. The square-faced man used his binoculars to get a close-up view, but the speed was too fast. In an instant, the people on the green jade altar could. Zhang Yuanshan's two hands emitted black energy, attacking Yu Shangrong. Together with the corpse of Kong, an excited sound. The three streams of energy attacking could instantly his Dharma body was current. While Yu Shangrong was distracted, Ye Tiang's second senior brother, Yu Shangrong, came to his senses and decided this battle had to be. Before Yu Shangrong could respond, a torrent of water fell from the sky like a waterfall, blocking Yu Shangrong's 100 tribulate. Fuck. All the energy struck the nearby cultivator. Above the water torrent, a female Dharma body, like the goddess of Mount Bang, was releasing energy. The amorous hoop. All buildings within a several thousand-meter radius were destroyed in an instant. Below a beautiful. Yu Shangrong looked at the Dharma body and see calming azure waves. Art, 6th junior sister. He quickly raised it, but his figure did not. The Dharma body dissipated, and the corpse's face became ferocious. Ha ha ha. The corpse's enormous Dharma body. But immediately, a strange sound came from Zhang Yuan. The newcomer was Ye Tiangxin. She had exhausted her strength but Zhang Yuanshan was still there. His two hands became both large and Third chance, go to hell. As he finished speaking, he released a stream of purple evil aura. Ye Tiangxin retrieved the amorous hoop. She understood Yu Shangrong's intention. Ye Tiangxin reminded Yu Shangrong, second senior brother. There's a grand witch behind him. While Ye Tiangxin was transmitting her voice, she suddenly discovered that not only had Zhang Yuanshan's arms lengthened, but the sudden appearance of the tentacles, they relentlessly pounded on the qi barrier, while that bizarre corpse. Yu Shangrong gripped his sword hilt tightly, his body like lightning, a slash, like a bright bolt of light. The corpse's eyes flashed for a moment, its pupils as if dyed in blood. A ray of blood-red light erupted. A roar like rolling thunder resounded from Yu Shangrong's mouth. The sword in his hand transforming, tearing apart he quickly executed the demonic Zen slash. To Yu Shangrong, a fan-shaped qi energy shot out from the tip of his sword. Yu Shangrong, holding the longevity sword with both, the terrifying characteristic of the longevity sword appeared. All the qi energy that struck the purple Dharma body shot. The Dharma body was immediately a loud boom echo. The corpse stared blankly, its hands clasped in a salute, watching the shattered Dharma body. The aftershock from the longevity sword, the rope binding him, snapped in an instant. Yu Shangrong didn't even glance at it. He knew it was just a corpse. He turned his head and said to Ye Tiangxin, "Junior." As soon as the words were spoken, a barrage of tentacles attacked. Ye Tiangxin's the golden lotus bloomed, blocking all the tentacle attacks. Ye Tiangxin had easily neutralized them, using the square-faced man's eyes almost popped out. It was too fierce a battle full of. He couldn't afford to miss a single sec. The corpse was sent flying. Zhang Yuanshan instinctively.
After the reminder, Yu Shangrong's eyes flashed. He stepped on the void.
He leaned his body, and
very quickly Yu Shangrong arrived treading on air. Each step created a golden ripple after a few steps, Yu Shangrong. The entire space seemed to be submerged under water.
This was Yu Shangrong's famous sword move. Return come.
The so-called entering the three souls meant the first sword Tai Quang Fetal Light is the second sword Shuang Ling Refreshing Spirit, the third sword Yu Jing Dark. All cultivators in the world possess three souls, among which
The two words, primal spirit, in the primal spirit tribulation realm, when the three swords and three paths are executed simultaneously, the three swords merge into one. Once the three souls are severed, the soul will scatter. Not only that, but Yu Shangrong's three figures seem to carry three golden lotuses descended from the sky, simultaneously, completely shattering. Zhang Yuanshan stared wide-eyed, frozen like a statue. What? At this moment he began to feel fear, and he immediately transmitted a call for help. A low voice came from his ear. You only have 2 to 3 chances to act, and now it's the third. Bama's words infuriated Zhang Yuanshan. Right at this moment, Yu Shangrong, also as fast as a bolt of lightning streaking across the sky, leaving a cold gleam in midair before piercing straight through. In an instant, a vibrant red line of blood tore from his body, split in two like a piece. Not a sound, not a breath. Thwack, 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 thwack. Never mind. He opened his mouth wide, stuck out his tongue, and laughed wildly. Ha ha ha. Zhang Yuanshan acted as if nothing had happened. He continued to laugh. He felt his whole body trembling. Even his soul felt like it was about to float away. But he kept laughing, his laughter traveling far, far away, reaching the green jade altar. The green jade altar could no longer observe the battle situation in the distance, only hearing the incessant laughter that terrified the disciples of the Nether sect. Soon after over, I have been weak my whole life, afraid my whole life. Now I, Zhang Yuanshan, want to face death without fear for once. With Zhang Yuanshan as the center, energy erupted in all directions, and countless tentacles continuously expanded. This was Zhang Yuanshan's third chance to act, and also the trump card Bama had left on him. A strange voice sounded. Sacrifice. Zhang Yuanshan shouted loudly. If I die, you must come with me. Even in death, he was determined to take Yu Shangrong. Sounded eerie. The tentacles crazily swarmed towards Yu Shangrong and Ye Tiangxin. The whole world at this moment seemed to be filled with tentacles. They writhed and twisted, a horrifying sight. Ye Tiangxin anxiously called out, "Second senior brother." To resist the tentacles, Ye Tiangxin had flown far away. Yu Shangrong stood at the center, seeing the sky full of tentacles. He suddenly brandished the sword in his hand. The sword moved like wind, like shadow, like a heavy storm. No sword. Qi appeared, only the crimson sword shadow, light forming a circular area with Yu Shangrong at the center, then gradually expanding. The tentacles were increasing in number, but Yu Shang, for some reason at this moment, the image of his master teaching him sword techniques appeared in his mind. In autumn, practicing swordsmanship under a tree, all the leaves had to be cut. In summer, practicing swordsmanship in the rain, no rainwater was allowed to wet him. In winter, practicing swordsmanship in the snow, no snow. Many scenes suddenly flashed through his mind. He couldn't remember how many wooden swords he had broken. Every time he broke one, his master said a true master of the sword path loves his sword dearly, until he no longer damaged wooden swords. His master rewarded. The longevity sword also implied longevity. For a person from the Junsi kingdom with a short lifespan, this was the best. Suddenly, Yu Shangrong looked at the longevity sword. This sword is my everything, man and sword as one. Suddenly, immense sword, his master's teachings echoed in his ears. If you want to kill your opponent, using the Yu Shangrong immediately understood the problem. Swish instantly, the speed of Yu Shangrong's illusory sword became faster and faster still. All the dark purple energy was blocked by Yu Shangrong's sword chi flying backwards. Ye Tiangxin saw this scene. She knew second senior brother was very strong, but she had never expected. Looking at the purple energy and tentacles filling the sky, at this moment, Ye Tiangxin shouted, "Second senior brother!" The amorous hoop, upon contact with the sky full of tentacles, the sea calming azure waves, the square-faced man could. Yu Shangrong let out a soft cry. His Tenzhang tall Dharma body expanded, and sword chi bloomed all over the boom, boom, boom. The tentacles were densely cut. At the same time, the lotus platform beneath the Dharma body completely blocked the tentacles, attacking and blocking simultaneously, with the golden lotus as the center. The longevity sword continuously spun, cutting down tentacles so fast. The energy of the tentacles was immediate. This sword strike from Yu Shangrong was his full strength. Gradually, the tentacles were finally all cut down. Ye Tiangxin felt that Yu Shangrong was too powerful. With the pressure gone, floating and turning in the air, she silently admired second senior Ye Tiangxin. The cultivators and the square-faced man couldn't believe their eyes. "Did you see anything?" I didn't see. Yu Shangrong stood within the Dharma body, his hands open controlling the Dharma. The 100 tribulations insight, but for the 100 tribulations insight Dharma body to last this long. After a while, the dark purple energy completely dissipated, and there was no longer any. Yu Shangrong withdrew his hands and crossed them. The Dharma body dissipated, but the golden lotus. Yu Shangrong looked at his golden lotus. 8 leaves shimmered with golden light. However, a faint purple. Yu Shangrong's expression remained calm. The golden lotus dissipated. Yu Shangrong floated in midair, looking down at the scene below. The green jade altar, once as beautiful as a fairyland. If the battle hadn't moved far away, the green jade altar would have. The disciples of the Nether sect were shaken for a long time, even though they couldn't see Yu, but from the strange sounds that reached them, they could also judge how fierce. And after a long time, when the sounds of fighting had ceased, the disciples of the Nether sect swarmed down. The ground was a chaotic mess, unbearable to look at. They followed the traces of the bat. Not long after the disciples of the Nether sect reached the central strip of land, where the fear on the ground, apart from a large sunken area and the surrounding uneven terrain, no corpses were found. Trees and flowers. What on earth happened? Everyone observed. Not just one monster. I saw him swing a. As soon as these words were spoken, the other. It seems to be puppets and witchcraft. Alas, second master, impossible. Second master's cultivation is profound and solid. Even a strong fingernail can have a flaw. The cult master once said that the strength of one person is always small, recalling the black Dharma body that appeared near the green jade altar, and then the sky full of tentacles. They immediately shivered, just as the group was endlessly. Not far away, a circle emitting purple chi was. The chi condensed into the shape. The crowd was startled and retreated. The energy form witch totem emitted a low sound. Then the witchcraft circle dissipated between heaven and earth, and the purple chi also. Go back. What now? Abandon. First we must. Ding killed a primal spirit realm target. Lu Zhou, who was pondering, suddenly heard the system notification. According to convention, killing a primal spirit realm target from 1 leaf to 5 leaf would grant 6 leaf to 8 leaf. Why was it 2,000 points? Now Lu Zhou slowly. Yu Zhenghai and Si Wuya had not yet been captured, so naturally they wouldn't count for merit points. And the remaining disciples, to be able to kill a high-level target, it could only be Yu Shangrong. 9 leaf. As soon as Yu Shangrong's cultivation was indeed very profound and solid, it was impossible. Besides, where would a 9-leaf target? Someone had thought like him to advance to 9 leaf through the method. He suddenly remembered that when discussing with Leng Luo and Pan Litian, Jiang Aijian had once mentioned similar This showed that Lu Zhou was definitely not the only one in the world researching. Yun Tianluo was one, and Gong Yuandu was another. Or perhaps there had always been people continuously, even other countries like Lulan and Ruli. After pondering for a moment, Lu, a female disciple, quickly entered the main hall called Jiang Aijian here. Yes. During this time, Jiang Aijian had always been hiding in the... Currently, the outside world was all rumoring that Jiang Aijian was dead. Although few in the imperial palace believed it, Jiang Aijian's intelligence network was very strong. This was 100 miles north of the Green Jade. The mist and clouds dispersed, and the setting sun cast a golden glow on the... Tiangxin pays respects to second senior brother. Ye Tiangxin respect sixth junior sister, no need for formalities. Yu Shangrong sheathed the longevity sword, not turning around, just gazed. For some reason he suddenly felt that the sunset was very beautiful, more beautiful than any other. The great Yan never lacked. Second senior brother, are you all right? Ye Tiangxin still couldn't believe the setting sun shone on Yu Shangrong's figure. He didn't move at all, just said, second senior brother's sword Dao has truly broadened this junior sister's horizons. Yet, thinking of the scene just now, Yu Shangrong shook his head. I heard that second senior brother has returned to the Evil Sky Pavilion. Yet Tiangxin rarely paid attention to the cultivation world. She only cultivated in seclusion, occasionally going out on business. When she first heard this, so the death list is also real. Yu Shangrong finally turned around. This gaze made Ye Tiangxin, ever since leaving the Evil Sky Pavilion, becoming the Yan princess, whom everyone revered, becoming the sixth-ranked becoming the jade-faced Asura, whose name alone struck fear into people's hearts. Ye Tiangxin's heart trembled unceasingly. Those on the death list, yet they still became souls under second senior brother's sword. What kind of... Yu Shangrong revealed a gentle expression and said, sixth junior sister. Ye Tiangxin was stunned, not knowing how to answer this question. If you don't want to answer, then don't. I'm just afraid I'll never be able to return to the Evil Ski Pavilion. Yu Shangrong replied, the road is long. Second senior brother is right. What are your plans for the future? Ye Tiangxin didn't answer immediately, but turned her head to look into the distance. I don't know either. I'm like a headless fly, Yu Shangrong said softly. If you don't have a goal... Ye Tiangxin was startled. Her thoughts were not as simple. Perhaps life was never complicated. It was only because people thought too much. It wasn't that she didn't have a goal, but that she wasn't determined enough. Will second senior brother return to the Evil Sky Pavilion? No. Yu Shangrong shook his head. After settling the list, I will go north, Bamwadmas. Where to? Ye Tiangxin asked doubtfully. She had never heard of this place name. It sounded like a small place, or... Yu Shangrong answered frankly. That is my hometown. A place that has lost its life. Apart from ice and... Ye Tiangxin became even more puzzled, not understanding why second senior brother used the words ice and darkness. At least you still have a hometown to return to. But I abide. Thinking of this, Ye Tiangxin sighed and said, second senior... You're... Hearing this, Ye Tiangxin couldn't help but feel happy. Second senior brother's She suddenly remembered her conversation with seventh junior brother, Si Wuya. Ben Hoi. Second senior brother, do you believe that there are people in this world who... Yu Shangrong was startled. This question sounded a bit ruthless. 1,000 years is already extremely extravagant. How can one dream of 2,000 years, do you believe? Second senior brother, during this time I have been searching for something. Many people say that once you obtain the Cheng Huang, you will live to be 2,000 years old. But I have searched for a long time and still haven't found it. If it were anyone else, they would surely advise her. But Yu Shangrong was different. People living in this world don't necessarily... The greatest motivation for people to live is to always have a... Yu Shangrong smiled and said, then you must be persistent. Even if hope is distant, it's still better. Ye Tiangxin was momentarily at a loss for words. Distant hope. Thank you, second senior brother, for your advice. Yu Shangrong nodded. The sun is about to set. Yes, senior brother, take care. Ye Tiangxin. The sun was about to set. Yu Shangrong was in no hurry to leave, just silently watching the sunset, until Yu Shangrong gripped the longevity sword and slashed down. Boom! A crack appeared in the rock, and the longevity. Yu Shangrong sat cross. From the 100 tribulations insight Dharma body appeared, but it was not large, even less than half. Yu Shangrong suppressed the Dharma body, causing it to He raised one hand, and the Dharma body, the small golden body, stood on the golden lotus. But at this moment, the golden lotus was no longer its usual golden color, but was speckled. Those purple spots were slowly spreading across the golden lotus, like insect. Yu Shangrong mobilized his primal qi. The golden lotus rapidly spun after a round of primal qi treatment. The purple energy was only suppressed in its spreading speed, but did not. Yu Shangrong frowned slightly. He had won this. At least it was much more arduous than other battles in the past. Even the spar with eldest senior brother at Yunjiao Forest did not force him to use his full strength. In his impression, Zhang Yuanshan was merely a second-rate sect master, a person who clung. He was also the type that could be killed with a single sword strike. But now, Grand Witch of Lulan. Yu Shangrong said this name and immediately chuckled softly. He didn't finish the rest of his sentence. Decisively, he withdrew the Dharma body, lightly tapped his toes, and his whole. After the battle at the Green Jade altar ended, the disciples of the Nether sect sent a carrier pigeon message to the cult master, Yu. They notified other branches saying that second master had fought a battle with Zhang Yuanshan, and was current. At least according to their judgment, it should be so. But these 4 words, in grave danger, injured, seriously injured, defeated, or even killed. Thus the rumors began. The major sects in the cultivation world, simultaneously. The mouths of many can melt gold. As more and more people spread this news, there was no longer a need to verify. The rumors became more and more exaggerated. Even some storytellers exaggerated, saying that in the sword devil Yu Shangrong was no match for Zhang Yuanshan. Why did that cowardly rabbit, Zhang Yuanshan, the sword devil of the current era, was arrogant and conceited, and ultimately fell. The era of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Yu Shangrong's failure to appear further confirmed in the dead of night in a cemetery. A black figure floated in the air, its feet only about half a foot off the ground. A dense purple aura emanated. Rustle. The black figure flew back and landed on the ground. He nodded with satisfaction, holding. At the other end of the rope, one person was Kong Yuan, dressed in monk robes, and the other was Zhang Yuanshan, dressed in Taoist robes. The cursed Yu Shangrong. Next would be the Evil Sky Pavilion. Junior sister, I will make the entire Evil Sky. 7 days later, in the main hall of the Evil Sky Pavilion, Lu Chou had comprehended the extraordinary power of the heavenly book to a state. As he was pondering issues related to the 9-leaf Ming Shiyin, walked in. Little Yuaner was in the courtyard practicing controlling the Skynet scarf. I can already use the Skynet scarf to simulate various shapes. Amazing, amazing, Ming Shiyin replied perfunctorily. Master Jiang Aijian sent a carrier pigeon letter. This fellow, Jiang Aijian, was truly efficient. It had only been 7 days since he was sent away. The old men in the old age pavilion, apart from boast. Ming Xian read in a low voice, Old Senior, there's no need to inquire about. Currently, the entire cultivation world is rumoring that the Sword Devil was defeated by Zhang Yuanshan. However, this matter still needs to be verified. There is one more thing to report to you, that is the Nether sect. Wei Choyan is just a counterfeit. How could he Reading this, Ming Xian frowned. When he opened the letter just now, he didn't notice there was. Ming Xian cleared his throat and continued reading. The barrier of Golden Court Mount. Something happened to Second Master. In addition, your lifespan. Old Senior, you must be careful of the. It's been a long time since I sent a carrier pigeon letter to Old Senior. If you could compensate me with a good sword, I would be even. After reading the letter, Ming Xian was a little unnatural. With second senior brother's cultivation, how could Zhang Yuanshan? Lu Zhou didn't think so. From the notification of merit points awarded, he knew one thing could be confirmed. As for whether something had happened to Yu Shangrong, after all, the system had never announced the death of a disciple. Or perhaps the system wouldn't. Lu Zhou slowly stood up. Your second senior brother likes to act alone. and doesn't like to send carrier pit. Master is right to criticize. He's all grown up, but when he goes out, he doesn't even know to send a letter to report his safety. Let him be. Lu Zhou said this, but in his heart, he didn't hope for any. Yu Shangrong was his great helper. If he suffered losses because of this matter, Master, should we manage He has now captured Yiju, clearly wanting to contend with the imperial court. Lu Zhou didn't answer this question. This old man also wants to manage this wicked disciple. The Nether sect had too many hidden branches and strongholds. After the battle with Yu Shangrong in Yunjiao Forest, Yizhu was so large, where could he find him? Moreover, in just a short period, the Nether sect had grown from nearly 10,000 members to, adding to that, the 4 great protectors with extraordinary strength and Siwuya behind him, helping him with schemes and calculations. Is this old man so frightening? Lu Zhou, since transmigrating, he had never seen Yu Zhenghai even once. The cult master of the #1 demonic sect in the world actually ran fast. Tell Zhang Aijin to carefully observe the movements in Yiju. If the time is right, this seat will go to Yiju to cap. Your disciple obeys. After speaking, Ming Shi, Master, nowadays there are rumors everywhere that we people of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Your disciple requests permission to go down the mount. Right at this moment, Duan Musheng, carrying the Overlord's spear, strode into the main hall. How could that be? Ming Xin was just about to kneel, then he heard someone kneeling behind him. Your disciple Ming Xiyin raised an eyebrow and turned around to see Zhu Honggong. No, Greetings, 4th senior brother. Greetings, 3rd senior brother. Ah, 4th senior brother, you look even more. Zhu Honggong was not polite at all, immediately kowtowing to Ming Shi. Zhu Honggong walked up to Lu Zhou. Master, your disciple has something. Your disciple received a carrier pigeon letter from the traitor Si Wuya. He thinks your disciple is as easy, but he doesn't know that under Master's earnest teachings, your disciple has become a... Stop dawdling, read the letter quickly. Duan Musheng. Zhu Honggong hurriedly opened the carrier pigeon letter and read softly, Master above. Please accept. Duan Musheng suddenly stepped forward, grabbed Zhu Honggong by the collar, and lifted him off the ground. Zhu Honggong's face was covered in tears. It's too unfair. Duan Musheng immediately let go. The two of them knelt down in unison, afraid that Master's... Lu Zhou glanced at the two of them, too lazy to discipline them. He waved his hand, and a strong chi swept the carrier pigeon. Even if Zhu Honggong's courage was as big as the sky, he wouldn't dare to stop it, so he could only watch the... Lu Zhou read it once. The letter wrote about matters concerning Yu Shangrong. The question of Yu Shangrong killing a high-level target was finally answered. Master, what does the letter say? Lu Zhou flicked his hand, and the letter flew out. Ming Xian caught the letter and read it. 2nd senior brother fought a battle with Zhang Yuanshan. Zhang Yuanshan was sacrificed by the Grand Witch Bama. 2nd senior brother is in... Bama is targeting the Evil Sky Pavilion. Master, the letter from the traitor Si Wuya cannot be trusted. 4th senior brother is right. We cannot... Lu Zhou stood up and glanced at his 3 disciples, saying softly, Si Wuya's words. Lu Zhu made his judgment based on the... Ming Xin and Zhu Honggong didn't think much of it. Since Master said so, the two nodded and said in unison. Duan Musheng took the letter. Bama is Lulan's #1 genius in witchcraft. In recent years, Lulan's strength has increased significantly. If that's really the case, what should 2nd senior brother do? Especially Zhang Aijian's earlier carrier pigeon letter, which had confirmed the... Zhu Honggong said, Master, your disciple still has something to... Yesterday, many low-level cultivators appeared. Your disciples saw that they wanted to cause trouble, and drove them away. Zhu Honggong caused trouble. What nonsense is this fool spouting again? Which cultivator dares to cause trouble? Ming Xian frowned and said, Foolish junior. Zhu Honggong scratched his head. I heard it was some strange incident asking for our help. But the Evil Sky... Old 8th, oh old 8th. I'm afraid you haven't understood. What surprised Ming Xian was that Master the old man... Lu Zhou paced back and forth, thinking. The matter of withered plants and trees Perhaps recalling the content of Si Wuya's letter, Lu Zhou felt a little if it were before, with Yu Shangrong's cultivation, but now was different from before. How could Lu Zhou stand by and watch? Seeing Master fall into deep thought, Ming Xian immediately understood. Your disciple is willing to go down the mountain. Zhu Honggong also bowed. Your disciple is willing to investigate this matter. Lu Zhou, if it were before, Lu Zhou would not hesitate, but now Bama. Even Yu Shangrong suffered a loss when encountering the Grand Witch. If Ming Xin and Zhu Honggong went, it would be. After pondering for a moment, Lu Zhou if he is targeting the evil sky pavilion. The three heard this and replied in unison. In the blink of an eye, 10 days passed. On the 11th day, when night fell in a rustle, a dense crowd of. There were also many corpses climbing out of their graves. Observed from above the ground, seemed to be. Behind the crowd was a black carriage flying at a low altitude, pulled by 2 people with ropes. A tall figure stood at the front of the carriage, his eyes glowing with green light, looking with satisfaction. These were the soldiers he had painstakingly created, day and night. A low voice came from his throat. Evil Sky Pavilion. I hope this time. Whoosh! The black carriage skimmed over the heads of the dense crowd, flying to at the same time in the sky of an area tens of thousands of miles west-northwest of the divine capital. Snow was falling heavily, and mountains on the snow-white mountain range. He turned slightly, his eyes seeing only trees and whites. The wind. He didn't brush off the snow, letting the snowflakes fall on each strand of his hair. Even his eyebrow. Yu Shangrong stood with his hands clasped, the longevity sword on his back, seemed to have sensed something and vibrated slightly. He smiled and welcomed the wind, and Yu Shangrong stepped on the air and flew forward. In a flash, his figure appeared in the air. A moment later, Yu Shangrong stood on a treetop, looking at the flat land in front. The small flat land stretched for several tens of miles, surrounded by mountains. Under the layer of snow and various vines and weeds, one could vaguely see the dilapidated houses. Yu Shangrong lightly tapped his toes. Swish, swish. The snow on the. Yu Shangrong flew forward. After a short distance, he suddenly let out a painful cry. He didn't fly, but stood hovering in the air, his hands hanging down. Then, from a small 100 tribulations insight Dharma body appeared in his. Yu Shangrong looked towards the golden lotus, but on the lotus throne, the dark purple spots had increased, significantly occupying nearly. Curse technique. Yu Shangrong frowned, looking at the golden lotus, but he only frowned without fear. He sighed softly. In Yu Shangrong's mind, the scene of fighting Zhang Yuanshan. The only time the curse technique could approach the golden lotus was when he brandished using the Dharma body and the golden lotus throne to he calculated the time. In just half a month, 1/3 of the lotus throne. In other words, in about another month, the lotus throne would be completely occupied by the curse technique. And by then, his hand gesture changed slightly, and the 100 tribulations insight, Dharma body, vanished. Yu Shang, reaching the middle of the flat area, Yu Shangrong leisurely waved his hands, and on the 10 zhang tall Dharma body, even though 1/3 of the lotus throne was tainted with purple, it did not hinder the Dharma body. The white snow covering the flat area quickly. A moment later, all the white snow within a range of several thousand meters disappeared, and the true appearance of the flat land, patches of Xunhua grass were rooted in the ground, their stems standing tall against the wind and snow. Vigorously, when he flew to the entrance, 2 stone blocks lay fallen outside. Unfortunately, they were both damaged. Half of overgrown trees and plants had obscured. Apart from the Xunhua grass, the buildings in the flat land were almost entirely gone. A nearby, some birds and beasts, frightened by the 10 zhang tall Dharma body, also fled in all directions. A wolf, some birds and beasts, frightened by the 10 zhang tall Dharma body, also low-level spirit beasts, sensing Yu Shangrong shook his head. At this moment, Yu Shangrong saw a pack of wild wolves standing on a mountaintop. Wild wolves, unafraid, interesting. Yu Shangrong smiled and even the most common wild wolves in the cultivation world were incomparable to the wild beasts. A faint primal chi emanated in terms of speed. They completely seeing Yu Shangrong swooping down the wild wolves, immediately turned, and Yu Shangrong's figure was almost parallel to the ground, his protective chi enveloping his body like a drop of water. He flew over a mountain. Finally, the wolf pack. It was a cliff face, standing at a 90-degree angle. The wolf pack squatted on the ground, silently watching Yu Shangrong. Yu Shangrong smiled faintly and asked, "Is the all right?" Thank you." The wolf pack obeyed. Yu Shangrong's gaze turned to the cliff face in front of him. He raised his hand. Boom! The chi energy slammed into the cliff face. Snow fell in sheets, and the true appearance of the stone door. Yu Shangrong was surprised. He looked up above the stone door where 3 large characters were carved, Junhua Tomb. Even though Yu Shangrong was a man of strong will at this moment, seeing the 3 characters on the stone door, of course he knew clearly the meaning of following the vague memories in his mind. Yu Shangrong raised his right hand, pressed his fingernail down, and a drop of fresh blood from his fingertip click-clack. The patterns on the stone door suddenly lit up, and the blood. At this moment, Yu Shangrong was completely certain that this was a tomb left by the stone door moved. Yu Shangrong stepped on the stone door, immediately closed, and the light inside. But Yu Shangrong still looked straight ahead. The scene before him, rows of skeletons lay neatly on the ground, with Shunhua grass. There was a secluded paradise here. A place even Yu Shangrong walked deeper into the cave, step by step. Finally, when he reached the deepest part, in front of him was a circular high platform. He walked over and looked, only to find it empty. On the cliff face in front of him, 2 large characters were. Yu Shangrong shook his head. The people of the Junzi kingdom, though short-lived. However, reality was still cruel. If people of the Junzi kingdom didn't cultivate, they would only live. After cultivating, their lifespan barely increased. Even an 8-leaf expert like Yu Shangrong, with the help of the longevity sword, could at most have 5. The cultivation world was a place where the strong preyed on the weak. If there wasn't enough time to cultivate, thus it was like a vicious cycle. Later generations were not as good as previous ones. The demise of the Junzi kingdom was Yu Shangrong was one of the later generations of the Junzi kingdom who refused golden. As night fell, ahead, a dense crowd of people was getting closer and closer. Stop! The black figure standing on the carriage spoke in a low voice his word. All the people present immediately stood still, He glanced over the crowd in front of him and said calmly, "Huangku School." Rustle. A person in the crowd slowly turned around. His facial expression was stiff, his eyes lifeless. The Bama, who had now removed his mask, took out a talisman, drew something on it. The talisman flew and stuck. Trungtian immediately after he became as frantic as a rabid dog, galloping. Golden Court Mountain now lacked its former barrier. When Trungtian was alive, he was the great elder of the Huangku School, with a cultivation at the 6-leaf. Not long after, he had run to the foot of Golden Court Mountain. He looked up blankly. Who dares to barge into Golden Court Mountain? Zhou Jifeng flew over on his sword. Seeing the intruder, he had never seen anyone with such a strange appearance. Trungtian didn't answer. Zhou Jifeng attacked with his sword. Several sword keys flew out. Bang, bang, bang. The sword keys struck Trungtian's. This is... Zhou Jifeng realized he couldn't kill this monster, and quickly Trungtian continued to gallop up the mountain. Zhou Jifeng, flying on his sword, was naturally faster than Trung. Reaching the outside of the Evil Sky Pavilion, he saw Mingxian and Duan Musheng pulling and tugging at each other. He immediately landed and said, "It's bad. 3rd Master, 4th Master, a monster." Mingxian frowned. Mingxian suddenly remembered what Master had said the Grand Witch Bama was target. He should have been carrying out his conspiracy secretly. Why would he direct? "I'll go report to Master." 3rd. "All right." Duan Musheng raised the Overlord spear, turned to Zhou Jifeng and said, "You go inform the other." "Yes." The three of them headed in 3 different directions. Duan Musheng's expression was serious. Holding the Overlord's spear, his whole body leaned forward. Before he was halfway down, Trung Tian's face was devoid of blood. Duan Musheng saw at a glance that something was wrong, and immediately swung the Overlord. 100 spear shadows shot down from above, carrying chi energy straight to bang, bang, bang. The spear shadows stabbed into Trung Tian's chest, so tough. Duan Musheng was shocked, but he wasn't afraid. Instead, his whole body's chi energy bloomed, and he continued to attack. With the effect of his long-term training under the waterfall appeared. Each spear shadow, Trung Tian retreated continuously. The offensive power of the Overlord's boom. Duan Musheng stood on the stairs like a mountain god, holding the Overlord's spear. Trung Tian rolled down continuously. After a short distance, his body suddenly twisted sideways. Retreat! A dignified voice rang out. Duan Musheng turned his head and saw Master standing. Behind him were Little Yuaner, Ming Shi and Zhao Yue, and the old men from the old age pavilion. Lu Zhou looked at Trung Tian and frowned slightly. Great Elder, Ming Xian said. Wasn't he already a dead person? The female disciples, standing far away, were terrified. Their knowledge was limited. It was normal for them to. But Leng Luo Panlitian and Hua Wu Dao. Panlitian laughed and said, "This old man has lived for so many years and has never." Panzhong called. Panzhong clasped his hands and quickly flew. At this moment, the talisman on swoosh flames erupted. However, the flame was very strange, forming a voice came from within the circle. "Yu Shangrong has been hit by my curse technique. If you have the guts." After these words were spoken, the purple Lenglo said from the air, "A sound-transmitting talisman, and it can even control corpses. This person's witchcraft is very strong. He cannot." Panlitian also spoke up. "Didn't you hear him second? This old thing. What's there to not dare?" As soon as he finished speaking, Panlitian stepped on the void, his whole body enveloped in a layer of golden light, and rushed. His reliance, Gord, also emitted gold, worthy of being the number one. No, worthy of being the old man with the only heaven-grade weapon in the old age pavilion. Panlitian held the gourd, and a fan-shaped boom. Trung Tian's face showed no expression. He was sent flying. Panlitian frowned slightly. "This corpse has been strengthened by witchcraft." True. Hua Wu Dao nodded. "If we only consider strength, this person surpasses even an. However, the drawback of witchcraft is too great. It requires. What suggestion? Let's go on the flying chariot and play around for half a month or so. His witchcraft won't be able to hold out." Hua Wu Dao felt his suggestion was extremely reasonable. This was also a good tactic to deal with. The opponent wants to cast a wide net and catch us all. Hua Wu Dao suddenly felt that everyone's gaze on him was very strange. Trung Tian was knocked to the ground by the reliance gourd, creating a small pit, but he still stood up straight. His face. "It's just a sturdy puppet. Watch this old man flatten him." Panlitian again. "Don't rush. Look down at the foot of the mountain first, then speak." Leng Luo suddenly said. Everyone turned. In the darkness, a dense army of people was slowly advancing, all of them. So many, Zhu Honggong said in alarm. "Oh my God. Master, your disciple feels we can scram. You have no prospects at all." At this moment, Dharma Master Shu Jing, leading several tens of disciples, flew over, forming a neat Amitabha. "This humble monk finally has a chance to reap," Shu Jing said, while looking at the army. "This humble monk has already informed the other disciple. Old monk Hua is really sensible." "Not at all, not at all." Lu Zhou looked at the ant-like swarm of puppets below and suddenly called out. Hua Yuexing flew to Lu Zhou, bowed, and "The sky is your domain. You have the moonfall bow. To catch bandits first, catch the king." Lu Zhou controlled Bai Zhe to fly higher. Hua Yuexing understood. She looked down like him, then raised the moonfall bow, drew the bowstring taut. An arrow of chi whistled through the air, tearing through space, and in the darkness it boom. The chi arrow hit a puppet at the foot of the mountain. The puppet immediately fell. "Remember to catch bandits first, catch the king. These puppets are already dead." Everyone naturally understood this principle, but any slightly intelligent cultivator, slowly controlling the puppets. Lu Zhou swept his gaze over the crowd. Elder Hua, guarding the... Yes. Hua Wudao was not strong in offense. Being assigned a defensive task, he was Ming Xiyin said. Master, Lu Zhou replied. The caster absorbs powerful life force, establishes a blood pool, and uses... But this technique is extremely evil. The more puppets manipulated, the more back... Lenglo added. At least 200 years, so that's how it is. I don't care how sturdy they are. Duan Musheng gripped the Overlord's spear tightly, chi energy swirling around him. Your disciple... Lu Zhou nodded. Go. With him here, the disciples would if Bama dared to appear, Lu Zhou could just throw out a critical strike card and be done with it. The rest would just be... With Master's approval, Duan Musheng... He summoned his 3 to 4... Zhang Tol 100 Tribulations Insight Dharma Body. Third senior brother still as fierce as ever. Ming. This was also why he refused. Who could stand someone who only knew how to stab? Duan Musheng's Dharma Body boom, it exploded into a circular pit. Several puppets were smashed into the ground. Primal return, 100 strikes. Hua Wudao turned to see this scene and alas, thinking of his own miserable future, he felt something. Hua Wudao turned his head to look at Hua, occasionally shooting out several key arrows to repel the puppets. His mood, Great Elder Trung Tien of the Huanku School. They were puppets, knowing. Pan Litian frowned, and the Reliance Gourd once again erupted with golden. The 4 disciples, Little Yuaner, Zhao Yue, Ming Xin, and Zhu Hong. For a time, Qi energy intertwined, and the area within a few hundred meters around the foot of the mountain was... Lu Zhou lightly tapped his toes. Baize flew high into the sky, gradually disappearing into the night. A mount like Baize, carrying a cold yin. Lu Zhou controlled Bian to fly to the middle of the mountainside, standing on a hidden rock. The remaining people, seeing the pavilion master suddenly disappear, it was just a group of puppets. Indeed, there was no need for the pavilion. Lu Zhou stood on Bian's back, only able to silence... This old man is very helpless. This old man's meager cultivation can only stand aside, willingly sacrificing 200 years of lifespan just to plot against. Lu Zhou looked at the battle situation below. Zhang Yuanshan obtained strength sufficient to defeat an 8-leaf. Then Bama. Could it be that after Yu Shangrong killed Zhang Yuanshan, he was captured by Bama as a hostage? This possibility... Pan Litian once again repelled Trung Tien, muttering. Leng Lo executed the Dao concealment art, suddenly appearing in front of Trung Tien, striking. Old Pan hit there. All right, I'll listen to you this once. Pan Litian coordinated with Leng Luo, his entire body. The Reliance Gourd flew in circles, growing from small to large, its golden light. Mountain toppling palm. Boom. The Reliance Gourd heavily struck Trung Tien's nape. Crack, the crisp sound. The Trung Tien puppet struggled frantically, but soon after it collapsed. Pan Litian said, "How's this, old man?" Leng Lo looked disdainful. Now it does. Pan Litian. Leng Lo dodged and disappeared like a ghost. Rush. Is this old man bad at naming? Pan Li. From where Duan Musheng and the others were, Leng Luo said, "Elder Leng is indeed knowledgeable." Ming Xin uttered a flattering sentence, then his figure flat. Bang, bang, bang. Hua Yixing, standing high above, also began to use Qi. It was just that the difficulty was a bit high. She had to wait for them to turn their puppets were all dead people. Sure, and at this moment, Lu Zhou saw Dharma Master Shu Jing stepping on. Behind him were Amitabha. Bodhi has no tree. Several tens of disciples chanted simultaneously. The sound of chanting, but with the monks as the center, an extremely large spherical, radiating a flickering light, bright mirror platform. Lu Zhou had seen Wunyan use the unexpectedly when a group of monks used it together. The range and power of the move increased. When the pattern descended to the ground, the Sanskrit characters within the pattern continuously generated fluctuations. Lu Zhou stroked his beard and nodded. This frivolous Zhang Aijian summoned a group of monks, coordinating to execute a move, made everyone's combat power. Leng Luo, Pan Litian, Little Yuaner, Duan Mush, all elites of the Evil Sky Pavilion, supported by the energy of the bright mirror platform, fought with Ki energy flew horizontally and vertically. All over Golden Court Mountain, Dharma bodies, several standing in a hidden corner at the rear. Bama frowned, looking at the monks who were emitting supportive, seeing the puppets rushing forward being continuously struck down by the opponent's powerful formation. His eyes became sinister. His hand, "Old devil, I don't believe you can bear to watch them be." Bama waved his hand and a purple circle flew toward the monk's eyes, widened his soulless. "Kong Yuan, go. Those people are all your enemies." Kong Yuan was clearly dead, but he seemed to understand his words. Kong Yuan's whole body shot up, leaving the range of Bama's witchcraft circle, and a black Hua Yuexing hurriedly shouted, "Be careful!" She quickly shot 3. Bang, bang, bang. The chi arrows collided with the black palm print. Seeing this scene, Lu Zhou frowned. This Bama was truly willing to stake everything. Which to control higher-level puppets, the Lu Zhao remembered the recent period when plants and trees withered everywhere, a phenomenon of nature. At the same time, Xu Jing chanting formed a meditation mudra. In an instant, he summoned Boom Kong Yuan's black palm print, collided with the meditation mudra, and the Bodhi ki energy intertwined and shot out in all directions. The monks retreated in the air. "Steady. Don't." Kong Yuan was also seeing this. Pan Litian immediately flew in front of Kong Yuan. Although his cultivation had not recovered, Pan Litian was 8-leaf versus with the Reliance Gourd in hand. It wasn't too difficult for Pan Litian. If this continued sooner or later, the primal chi of Lu Zhu saw that the number of puppets had decreased by 1/3. After thinking for a moment, he casually threw out an item. Xu Jing hadn't seen clearly what it was when he caught the flying object. He looked closely and exclaimed, "This item is called the Buddhist altar prayer beads. Although it has recognized a master, a part of its..." Hearing this, Xu Jing was extremely excited. How dare this humble monk accept this item? For Lu Zhou was actually a rather useless weapon. Not only was it useless, but for Xu Jing, it was a great treasure, many times better than... How could he not be excited? Xu Jing respectfully placed the prayer beads in his right palm, his left hand clasped in front of his chest, saying, "With these profound-grade prayer beads, as long as he cultivated diligently in the future, his strength and cultivation..." At that time, the day Tianshuan Temple recovered its former... Lu Zhou casually stroked his beard and said nothing. With the profound-grade prayer beads in hand, Xu Jing immediately felt his aura reorganize the formation. Yes, Xu Jing wore the profound grade. When his primal chi surged, the prayer beads sensed it and gradually lit up, refracting bright mirror platform. The disciples behind Xu Jing chanted the scriptures in unison, their voices even louder, and a huge circle of light appeared at Xu Jing's feet. A large scale supported the beautiful pattern, emitting dazzling golden light, slowly descended. The people of the Evil Sky Pavilion had their combat power increased by several points. Again their... Zhu Honggong said excitedly, "Old monk Amitabha." Hearing the mention of alcohol, Xu Jing frowned. At the same time, Pan Litian used the Reliance Gourd to send Kong Yuan flying far away, However, Kong Yuan was not like other puppets. His cultivation strength and reflexes were... Occasionally he would summon the demonic Zen Dharma body, forcing Kong... When he saw the Buddhist altar prayer beads on Xu Jing's neck, his whole body seethed with... His palms immediately struck out. Bang, bang, bang. Pan Litian's relying on the Reliance Gourd. He could barely restrain Kong Yuan, faced with the barrage of attacks. "Old Pan, are you all right?" Leng Luo was constantly flickering in and out. When 10 puppets rushed to surround him, Leng Luo immediately summoned his Tenzang tall Dharma body. Pan Litian replied, still holding on. When the range of the bright Pan Litian immediately felt his spirits lift, and his Dantian Chi also felt the ground. Lu Zhou stood on Bian's back, continuously observing, and just now, Kong Yuan had flown out from that forest. Bama must be under the support of the bright mirror platform. The people of the Evil Sky Pavilion the rhythm of the puppets had, but little Yuaner's rhythm was she with her Wanzhang tall Dharma body, then kicked a puppet away with her foot. Lel, lel, lel. Little junior sister, Why are you making faces at them? Mingxi and little in the sky. The monks continuously chanted scriptures, their voices hiding behind the forest, standing within the grand witchcraft formation. Bema angrily shouted. He waved his right hand, and another purple circle appeared. Zhang Yuanshan's eyes widened. Bama said in a deep voice. Zhang Yuanshan immediately rushed towards the current Zhang Yuanshan was no longer the Zhang. Tentacles grew from his arms, looking terrifying, as he pounced towards little Yuan. Want to catch me? No way. 7 stars. Cloud-treading steps. Little Yuaners. Right at this moment, Zhang Yuanshan's. You can't escape. His voice was a Skynet scarf. The Skynet scarf, like a flying phoenix, dancing enveloped the chi energy, forming a barrier in front of little Yuan. At the same time, Duan Musheng executed the 1,000-layer bong bang bang. Over 1,000 spear shadows struck the heaven-grade weapon. The Overlord's spear also fiercely stabbed into it. Zhang Yuan. Thank you, third senior brother. Little Yuaner swung the Skynet scarf as the puppets flew backwards. Several powerful chi arrows shot from the sky. Above the evil sky. Crack, crack, crack. The puppets fell. Little Yuaner gave a thumbs up. Sister Yu. Hearing her praise, Hua Yuexing couldn't help but smile. Her whole demeanor. Zhang Yuanshan, after all, had been strengthened. His strength, even greater than an 8-leaf. For Duan Musheng to be able to repel him was all. Sure enough, Zhang Yuanshan leaped up, changed direction. Shujing frowned. Meditation mudra bodhisattva. When Zhang Yuanshan flew in front of Shujing, he suddenly made a shocking move, striking a not good retreat quickly. Zhujing dispelled the golden body and meditation mudra, signaling the formation to retreat towards the evil sky pavilion. The bright mirror platform. Self-detonation. This scene was no different from when Leng Luo snorted coldly, lightly tapping his toes. And your opponent is me. Zhang Yuan. Leng Luo's Dharma body. Boom. Zhang Yuanshan's entire body swelled up like a ball, and then exploded, sending purple mist. The disciples of the evil sky pavilion at the foot of the mountain immediately summoned their Dharma bodies to block the purple mist, preventing it from. Bama looked at the people of the evil ski pavilion. Duan Musheng held the Overlord spear. Little Yuaner wore the Skynet scarf. Zhu Honggo Pan Litian controlled the Reliant. Hua Yuexing held the Moonfall bow.